What's the story you tell yourself when you say you're lazy? Have you ever procrastinated on something important, knowing you should do it, but still putting it off? Hey there, go getters! Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Strength. I'm your host, Levy National, and today we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for all of us: laziness, or as some people like to call it, procrastination, or being in the funk. Let's face it, we've all been there, but here's the thing: laziness is just a label for a much deeper issue. That's why we're breaking it down and getting to the heart of the matter. Have you ever procrastinated on something important, knowing you should do it, but still putting it off? Or maybe you felt stuck. Guess what? You are not alone. Life throws a lot at us: responsibilities, bills, jobs, family. It's overwhelming. But why do we label ourselves as lazy? Is it really laziness or is it something much deeper? Here's a theory: laziness is a story we tell ourselves. It's an excuse, a mask for fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. Let me give you an example. Say you've been putting off a workout at the gym. Why? Maybe it's because you're scared you'll fail. You're worried about not lifting as heavy as before or getting the form wrong. So instead of facing that fear, you distract yourself with Netflix or comfort food. Sound familiar? What's the story you tell yourself when you say you're lazy? Is it, I'm just tired? Or, I'll do it tomorrow? Maybe it's deeper, like, I'm not good enough to succeed at this task. These stories are what keeps us stuck, and recognizing them is the first step to breaking free. Often, we end up in what I call the paralysis zone. The zone where you're slumped on the couch with Netflix on autoplay or scrolling through funny TikTok videos, avoiding the important things. And I get it. I've been there too. Sometimes it's not just fear, but also intimidation. Tasks can feel so big and overwhelming that our brains perceive them as threats. Our natural response? Avoidance. It's a psychological defense mechanism. We distract ourselves to avoid discomfort, creating a cycle of overthinking and inaction. But here's the good news: we can break that cycle. Breaking free from that cycle of feeling stuck or self sabotaging isn't easy, but it starts with awareness. You have to pause and ask yourself the tough questions. Why am I feeling this way? What's holding me back? What's the story I'm telling myself? Could it be ego or pride? Or maybe sometimes it's just stubbornness. And sometimes it's just not knowing where to start. Once you've identified the root, it's time for a mindset shift. Accept that these feelings are temporary and that you've overcome challenges before. You can do it again. Start small. Seriously, don't aim to transform overnight. Want that dream body? You won't get it tomorrow. But you can put in your training shoes and go for a 30-minute walk today. Don't underestimate the power of small actions. Dropping that donut in your hand or swapping a pizza for a healthier meal, these little wins add up. Now, let me ask you this. What's the one thing you can do right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. These small immediate actions can give you momentum, and momentum creates evidence. Each small step shows you are capable of change, and that evidence builds trust in yourself. Think about it. If you've been consistent with a 30-minute walk for a week, you'll trust yourself to stretch that to 45 minutes. That trust snowballs into confidence, and confidence fuels bigger goals. Now, let's talk balance. You can't go 100% all the time. You need rest, entertainment, and time to recharge. But balance doesn't mean neglecting your goals, it means prioritizing what matters. So, write down your excuses and create rebuttals or responses. If you can't work out in the morning, can you fit it in at lunch? So, finding solutions instead of letting obstacles stop you. Imagine this: you're having a debate with yourself. One side says, I can't do it because I'm busy. The other side responds, okay, but can you find 10 minutes? When you write down your excuses and solutions, you'll often find that excuses aren't as big as they seem. What's your excuse? What's your solution to those excuses? What I'm saying is, it's not about having all the time in the world. It's about making time. 10 minutes of effort each day is better than nothing. Over a month, that's 5 hours. Imagine the impact of those small, consistent actions over time. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Lastly, match your effort to your goals. Big goals require big effort. You can't expect a Scarlett Johansson's physique or The Rock's muscle with a minimal work. Be realistic. Be realistic about what you can achieve and set actionable, practical plans to get there. Understand yourself, measure your progress, and adjust as needed. If you can measure it, you can change it. So, here's my challenge to you. What small step will you take today? Can you visualize your challenges and create an action plan to overcome them? Write it down. Take that step. Then create evidence for yourself. And keep in mind, trust builds confidence and confidence builds momentum. So here's your takeaway: understand, measure, adjust, then repeat. That's the formula. Take small step, celebrate your wins, and keep moving forward. You got this. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond Strength. If this episode inspired you, like and subscribe. Share it with someone who needs a little extra motivation today. Laziness isn't who you are, it's just a passing state. With small, consistent actions, you will turn things around. Each win, no matter how small, builds momentum, and every step forward counts. I'm Levy National, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Stay strong and keep going, go-getters.